Time to take a look at what's grabbing headlines around the world. Lots of focus on the alarming spread of the mosquito-borne virus Zika. Flo is back to tell us more about that.
That's right. The World Health Organization is calling the spread explosive, and that word is on the front page of several front pages. Let's start by taking a look at the Independent. You can see a photo that was actually taken in Nicaragua. Someone fumigating, essentially, try to get rid of the mosquitoes there. The Guardian is also using that term, explosive. The virus has now spread to 23 countries in the Western Hemisphere. Millions of people could be infected, and it's particularly dangerous, of course, for pregnant women. It's thought to cause brain damage in infants. You can see a baby there in Brazil, one of nearly 4,000 cases of microcephaly, so babies born with small heads.
Okay, now Brazil is one of the hardest hit countries. Specialists are weighing the risks of Zika spreading, especially with the Olympic Games coming up in just a few months.
That's right. Summer. This is incredible. And you can read about it in the New York Times. 500,000 people are expected to go to Brazil for the Olympics, and researchers are scrambling to figure out how much of a risk the games can actually be for spreading Zika around the world. Because if you think about it, for instance, in the U.S., you have about 200,000 Americans who are probably going to go to Brazil for the Olympic Games, and they'll return home in the summertime, where weather will be warm, there'll be a lot of mosquitoes, and so if they're carrying Zika in their blood, well, those mosquitoes in the U.S. will perhaps spread Zika further in the U.S. It's quite an alarming situation. And what's interesting is virus trackers in Brazil say that the Zika actually arrived in Brazil in 2014 during the World Cup in Brazil.
Wow. Well, moving on, lots of focus on the third round of Syrian peace talks set to go ahead in Geneva today.
That's right. It's all or nothing, according to Le Monde. Of course, there's a lot of confusion over who will be at these talks. And so with few players at the table, it seems like talks could collapse. Whether some of the opposition will be there, if any of the opposition will be there, that's, of course, the big question. Interesting piece in The Independent by Patrick Coburn, who looks at the several reasons why these talks are hobbled. First of all, there's the question over the opposition, but other key players are also going to be missing at the table, including the Islamic State group and Kurds, groups that are very important in the region right now. Also, you can see here he's talking about how the U.S. and Russia have a weird relationship in the region. It's a mix of cooperation and rivalry. And finally, he says that the talks are only about Syria, but the problem isn't only in Syria. It's really straddled over the border between Syria and Iraq. So these are reasons why these talks probably aren't going to amount to very much. The Guardian, in its editorial, says talks for the sake of talks may give the illusion of progress, but they come at a high price for Syrians. And you can see here, it's a little hopeful, little hope, but fake diplomacy is no diplomacy, according to The Guardian.
Wow. Okay, well, let's move stateside. Now there's a lot of focus on the race to the White House, of course, and apparently what candidates are wearing.
That's right. The Washington Post is very fashion conscious today, taking a look at what it calls the casual Friday look that Republican candidates just can't get enough of. Now, of course, when they were on that stage at the debate yesterday, they were all wearing the traditional power uniform, but when they're off stage, they're apparently wearing the exact same sweater. It's a zip-up.
They apparently all shop at the same
they all shop
store.
At the same store. Exactly. The only outlier is Donald Trump, which doesn't come as much as a surprise. But it's a funny article that wonders, why in the world are they all going for the same look? Is it all American? And it's definitely the look that you should have if you are a Republican man running for, hopefully, for president.
There you have it, the trends for 2016. Now, the Washington Post has gone even further and has put together a political fashion past and present.
That's right, fashion of politics. And it's a great article. It's an interactive article, actually, that goes through time, looking at just what people wore, did it suit them or not? Because, of course, a clothing choice can help sell a political message. Does that sweater make people like you? Is that power suit? Does it really make you seem powerful?
Or is it more boiler suit?
Exactly. And it can really kind of, make headlines as well, what a politician wears, for good or for bad. One of my favorite examples is actually something I do remember back in 2009. You might remember this episode, Barack Obama. He went to a baseball game wearing this pair of jeans, which a lot of people said looked a lot like mom jeans, perhaps not the best wardrobe choice. And he only, wore them once. and people talked about it for a long time. So I guess the moral of the story is be careful what you wear.
Indeed. All right, let's end with a revolution in the world of Barbie.
That's right. This is incredible. Barbie has been accused for decades of promoting an unhealthy body image. And you can see, this is a sneak peek at the look of the new Barbie. The toy maker Mattel has decided to offer a new and varied range of Barbies. So you'll have tall, petite, curvy. The idea is to promote a healthy and realistic self-image, and essentially so each girl can find a doll that speaks to them. But what's interesting is not everyone is very enthusiastic about this. Let's just look at one last article in the Daily Beast that points out that whether she is tall, petite, or curvy, the main purpose of the doll is still to be cute and attractive for boys and men. So I guess some things just don't change.
Yes. Okay, right. Florence Villeminot with the press review. Thank you very much, as always.